4th of July, New Year's, are they terrible, terrifying, horrifying nights for your dog? Let's talk about things that you can do to help your dog survive the night. Stick with me, we got this. I have 10 tips for you to help your dog and you make it through the night. Tip number 1, prepare days and weeks ahead. Preparation is key. If you can prepare and not let your dog become wise to the idea of something, knowing that something's gonna happen, meaning use these tactics on days when there's no thunderstorms or no fireworks. Use these things on a regular basis, desensitize them to those items. Do not let these things only be associated with fireworks or thunderstorms or something that your dog is afraid of. Because if you only use them when something bad is going to happen, they know when they see that item, hear that sound, whatever, they're going to know that something bad is going to happen. Dogs are smart. Don't give them a heads up. Tip number 2, something in my bag of tricks, is rescue remedy. You may have heard of this item. This is a Bach flower remedy, and this particular blend that I'm recommending, link below, is for pets. It's a blend of 5 of his flower remedies that is specifically formulated for dogs, but 2 of them are very, very helpful when it comes to fireworks or thunderstorms. One of them is rock rose. Rock rose is for terror and fear and shaking. Star of Bethlehem is for trauma. So if your dog has been traumatized by storms or fireworks, this could be your blend. Rescue remedy can be added to the dog's water. Just a drop or 2 in their water can help. If they eat wet food, you can put it on their food. I've even used Bach flower remedies on the back of their necks if I can't get them to take it. I had used it on a cat that was very upset, and when she was upset, she would pee outside the litter box, and I used beach, which is for if you're feeling a little beachy and mad about something. And I just put a drop on the back of her neck, and sure enough, she calmed down and she quit peeing outside the litter box there for a little bit. Tip number 3, lavender oil. Okay, if you can't tell, I might be a little bit of a crunchy mama. That's all right. I've used these things with my dog, and I have used them very successfully. In fact, our dog that is easily terrified and spooked is not afraid of fireworks, even though we lived in a neighborhood with a neighbor who lit fireworks all the time. 4th of July, Labor Day, Friday, Memorial Day, Flag Day, Valentine's Day. Didn't matter. If there was something going on, he was going to light up a fireworks show. And let me tell you, one year, he went for 6 hours. It was a long night for me. What to do with the lavender? That's kind of important. You could use a carrier oil and put a drop in your hand, rub it in your hand 10 times to activate the oil, and then massage your dog with it. Or if you're not comfortable and you like the way lavender smells, get a diffuser like the one in the link down below and diffuse it. The nice thing about a diffuser is you can put the lavender oil in the water, and then it vaporizes into the air and it smells nice. You can add just a few drops. Don't add too many. Dogs are very sensitive, but it's a very nice calming aroma. In fact, a lot of dog shampoos actually have lavender oil in it to help them calm down. So that might also be a great option. I have a doggy dry shampoo that has lavender in it. I will link that below as well. Now, disclaimer, be very cautious about where you get your essential oil. Not all essential oils are created the same. Some are not actually essential oils at all, even though they're labeled as that. You go and actually flip the label back. So I'm going to link an inexpensive but trustworthy brand down below. Tip number 4, take your dog out on the lead. Do not put your dog out in the backyard unattended. Just go ahead and plan to take them out. And if you need to, take them out early if you know there's gonna be fireworks show happening nearby. But don't let the dog out in the yard. Even if you have a fenced-in yard, many dogs and cats go missing on New Year's and 4th of July weekend in America because of fireworks. So you can prevent your dog from escaping. So be attentive live and take your dog out. If you need to get puppy pads or maybe some artificial grass, that's for dogs. I'm not really keen on this because you could really break housebreaking, but if this is what you have to do because you don't have any other options, it is a viable option. Again, I will link these down below. Tip number 5, where will your dog be? Does your dog need to be in a kennel? Is a kennel a safe place for them? If you have not crate trained your dog, this will take some planning in advance. Check out my crate training series below with my anxious dog. Tip number 6, reassure your dog by not reassuring your dog. And by this, I mean, don't say, oh, it's okay, and start petting your dog. Oh, honey, I know. Oh, it's okay. Do you want a cookie? Do not give food. If the dog will take food, if they're really afraid, they won't take food. But if they do take food when they're afraid, you have now tainted food and you have now tainted your relationship and you have broken trust with your dog. Do not do it. Do not break trust with your dog. If you are petting your dog when they are afraid, you are telling them that you want them to be afraid. You are telling them this is the behavior you want from them. So don't do it. Don't give them a treat while they're afraid. Don't pet them while they are afraid. Be calm when you do this, and you can even tell your dog no, and then when they calm down and stop shaking, and of course don't yell at them, but just calmly say no, and then when they're calm, you calmly say yes, and you calmly can reward them, because at that point they're probably going to be less afraid and they're going to see that you're calm, and you can at that point pet them with a reassuring pet where you rub their chest and you rub them up. You want to bring them up. If you pet their head, you're pushing them down, so you want to lift them up, not push them down. Tip number 7, distract your dog. Now, I know I said don't give your dog a treat when they're afraid, but you can, if your dog is really good at tricks or has something that they like to do, you can distract them with doing a trick, but break them out of being afraid. Don't ask them to do a trick if they're afraid. Wait, get them out of the fear moment, distract them from it, and ask them to do a trick. Ask them to do a sit. Ask them to lay down. Ask them to, if they give paw, ask them to give a paw. Ask them to do something for you, and then you can reward them for that with a treat, and you're likely going to build trust, and they're going to see that it's okay at that point. Now, this is really tricky, and if you're not comfortable doing it, I don't think it's a good idea. Tip number 8, thunder shirts. Have you seen these things? There are these pressure shirts that you can put on your dog. I think they're the same kind of principle as weighted blankets for people that help them with anxiety. You can put these on your dog and they can help compress and help them feel safe and secure. I do advise introducing your dog to them slowly with treat. So you hold, and again, this is taking preparation. You're gonna need to get this weeks in advance. Don't just pull out a thunder shirt when there's a thunderstorm or fireworks. This needs to be just a normal, hey, this thing has nothing to do with thunder or anything like that. They just need to see this as a positive, comfortable thing. So you would introduce that to them by showing it to them. They sniff it and they're okay with it. You say yes, you give them a treat. And then you progress to slowly putting it on them, and then you yes, and you take it away. If you don't know what I mean, check out my series on grooming Joy. It's the same type of thing I'm doing with trimming her face. But once you get them acclimated to the thunder shirt, that is a great option. You could put it on them every night that week leading up to 4th of July. Leading up to New Year's, leading up to whatever holiday that you know there's going to be a bunch of fireworks. That way, they don't see it as this thing comes out, that means something scary is happening. Again, don't make your dog scare-wise. Tip number 9, use music for dogs. Did you know that there was such a thing? McCann Dogs specifically came out with their own music for dogs on Spotify and other music platforms, and have a YouTube music channel just for dogs to drown out thunderstorms and fireworks. It has a low-end filler to help distract from the noise. It's also meant to be very soothing and is actually pleasant. I've listened to it myself. Never for my scared dog, but I have listened to it. It's very nice music and it's just peaceful. You can use it while you go to work if your dog needs music to help keep them calm. It's actually a really handy thing. But again, introduce your dog to it before there are thunderstorms or fireworks. Tip number 10, and the most important tip, be calm. Don't get overly excited. Don't try to be happy and peppy. Don't be afraid and don't get angry. Be calm and be as serene as you can. Use all these tools. Again, start prepping ahead of time. The further out you can get your dog used to these things, the better. And mix it up. See what works for your dog. Some of these things that I'm using may not work for your dog. Other things will. So in closing, you got this. Peace.